Jon Jones, Jon, minus 600 now. Stipe at plus 450. It's been a while since we've had a heavyweight title buildup kind of like this. I mean, given the styles, legacy, all that stuff. I mean, Jon, for you personally, where does this fight in 2024 rank among your most, hyped up or anticipated fights at heavyweight of all time?
So we have to start with the fact that this is only Jon Jones's second fight as a heavyweight. It is his first undisputed championship title defense in the UFC. And when he won the belt, it was a long time ago. It was March of 2023. So this Jon Jones heavyweight reign has not been long, winding, or with any particular adversity other than the torn pectoral muscle. Now, in the blue corner, you have the most decorated UFC heavyweight champion of all time. He last competed in MMA when he was 38. Now he's making the walk at 42. Now, some of that is the calendar. Some of that is the Jon Jones injury. But there are just a lot of different storylines that maybe don't make this the true Jon versus Stipe fight in their respective primes. When Daniel Cormier moved up to the heavyweight division in the UFC, he had a wealth of heavyweight experience. So when I look at minus 600, it is a little bit crazy to me insofar as Jon Jones has one fight at heavyweight. It came against Ciryl Gane, and it was very quick. Stipe Miocic is long on ability in all phases of mixed martial arts, and I do think it stands to reason that he can show some durability if need be early. I think he can show some heavyweight offense early, and I think he could potentially touch Johnny Bones' chin early on. So if I'm somebody who bets straight wagers, right, and I have a simple approach, right, can you do worse than $100 straight wager on Stipe Miocic? When I throw that out to my contemporaries and the other fighters that I talk to, not a lot of them necessarily want to take the bait, Ethan. But yeah, I mean, I would stop short of suggesting that Stipe is a live underdog. I think the layoff gives people tremendous pause. The birth certificate, the 42 years of age does. But, Stipe is the more credentialed, more accomplished, more proven, more UFC tested heavyweight. If we're just talking divisionally, he just so happens to be fighting the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that layoff because I think it's a little bit disrespectful to see Stipe at plus 450. But I mean, how do you evaluate his 4 years off, right? I get it. The Francis Ngannou loss is maybe how some people remember him. Tough loss, no doubt. But again, a loss that has aged really, really well, I think, because of all Francis has gone on to accomplish. So, I mean, when you're previewing a fight or looking at stuff like that, I mean, how much weight do you put into a layoff? And specifically Stipe's layoff in this case?
Well, Dominic Cruz's name is one that gets injected into this conversation a lot because he feels like ring rust is really just non-existent / a mentality. And if you're doing the right work, and if you see Dominic Cruz right now, he has a black eye, which tells you he is sparring all the goddamn time to get ready to fight a man. And he feels like he has to spar a lot to get ready. What is Stipe doing, Ethan? What has he been doing? I trust he's been doing a lot right now. What exactly that work has been, I'll find out more in our fighter meeting next Thursday. And I hope that doesn't necessarily sound like a cop-out, but what is any better right now, or any mixed martial arts fan, or even a commentator like myself who's not texting Jon Jones's manager every step of the way, know what either training camp has held for either man? How has Jon Jones's body held up during this training camp? How is the pectoral recovery, right? All indications are that both guys are all systems go, but I'll have far more intel next Thursday than I do sitting here on November 7th, right? Layoffs, I think, largely in combat sports are less than ideal. And for Stipe, I think if he were a man of complete veracity, he would tell you that a 4-year layoff is not at all ideal. But you can be sure he's working hard. You can be sure that Stipe has built the best possible cardiovascular base that he can build at 42 years of age to try to beat Jon Jones, because what's on the line for Stipe is conversation on Mount Rushmore as one of the greatest pound for pound mixed martial arts athletes of all time. And most people, when they're carving their Mount Rushmore right now, don't necessarily include Stipe, right? Maybe they think Fedor Emelianenko is the greatest heavyweight of all time, even if he didn't compete in the UFC. Most Rushmores begin, I think, Jon Jones, George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, and maybe Anderson Silva, right? And for Stipe, he immediately barges that door down and opens up potentially several more fights for Jon Jones. I can't wait. It's going to be fascinating either way.